So good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us today for our press conference to discuss the FIFA. For the order of today, we'll start with U.S. men's national team midfielders Tyler Adams and Christian Pulisic. Then at 4:35, we'll switch over to defenders Tim Ream and Chris Richards. And then last but not least, U.S. men's national team head coach Mauricio Positano will join us. So we have journalists both in the room here and on the Zoom. I'll be taking questions from both. So if you're on the Zoom, if you can please raise your hand, and we ask that you please state your name and affiliation. So we'll get started right here in the front. And if you could just wait for the microphone.
Thank you, Donald Wine, Stars and Stripes FC. Tyler, thanks for your time today. I wanted to ask about the three teams, or at least the two teams that you've seen most recently, Australia and Paraguay. Now that you know they're in the World Cup group, how does that maybe affect your preparation as a team for those matches?
Yeah, no, I think it's really exciting overall. I wasn't in the past two windows, so I haven't had the opportunity to play against Australia. I played against Paraguay early on in my national team career.
Tyler, just hold on one second. We're having some audio issues in the room. If we can turn up the volume in the room of the Zoom, please.
On my end?
Nope, we're good. It was here in the room, so we're good now.
So I'm good. Good to go. Am I good to go?
Yeah, all good to go, Tyler.
Okay. Anyway, so like I said, didn't have the opportunity to play against Australia, obviously, but had the opportunity to play against Paraguay earlier on in my national team career. But I think it's exciting to be familiar with the opponents that we're going to play against. But I think everyone knows that nothing is like a World Cup game, and having the experience now in Qatar, yeah, we know that teams can bring a completely different profile and opportunity to play.
Someone's got to mute their mic.
Okay, so I'll go. I'll take Paul from The Athletic. We'll take your question next.
Thanks so much, Tyler, for doing this. I guess I think a lot of people are going to say, look, this is an easy group. At the bare minimum, is this a group where you guys look around at each other and say, yeah, we should be able to believe in ourselves to get out of this group, to do something special as everyone's hoped would happen in a home World Cup? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I think that for ourselves, no matter who we drew in the group, we were going to have that belief that we could make a run and do something special. I think just having the draw in general now, the excitement grows and it makes it feel more real. But for this group, the anticipation was obviously a long time coming to play on home soil. And we still have 6 months more to prepare. So, like I said, there's no easy game in a World Cup. In fact, I think some of our hardest games in the previous World Cup were two against the lesser opponents. So, I think for us moving forward, we need to continue to prepare in the right way. But it's fun knowing that we've played some of these opponents before.
Right here in front.
Thanks for your time, Charles Bowman, MLS Soccer. Could you describe what it was like for you personally, just kind of watching this unfold? And then I also wonder if you could speak on what your memories are of. I don't think you played in those Paraguay and Australia games, but I'm sure you were watching and got a little sense of what those were like. What was your processing of those games?
Yeah, watching the draw was exciting. Like I said, it makes it feel a bit more real now. We kind of know the layout and the blueprint from the previous World Cup, but just watching, Americans on stage and, the president giving speeches and performances, it made it feel like an American event already. And I think we know the expectation of what it's going to be like when we go there. And there's going to be halftime shows and there's going to be performances and there's going to be celebrities and the big draw of, what America brings to sports. But yeah, I think not playing in those previous camps, it was fun to just watch the boys go toe to toe and get some wins. I think the most important thing we're trying to build is a winning culture. And I think we've done that in the past camps.
right here in front.
Jonathan Tannenwald from the Philadelphia Inquirer. Hi, Tyler. How much closer does it feel now that a draw is done compared to even, I don't know, 3 hours ago?
I mean, it doesn't, I think the excitement is more, but it doesn't really feel that much closer. I think we still have what, 7 months of our seasons with our clubs, and that's a really long time. And we're probably in the midst of the most chaotic part of the season right now with how many games there are. So, yeah, I think it's raised the excitement for sure, but it's so hard to look that far ahead because so much can happen in that long period of time still.
Right. Next question, Andrew Jones.
Always, Andrew Jones of Believe Network. Tyler, just want to ask you in terms of that tremendous goal that you scored for Bournemouth last week, despite the team result. Between that goal and your goal at Nations League against Mexico, which for you did you feel was the more difficult goal that you scored in your career?
I mean, I don't really score goals often, but the one against Mexico was just more important, I think, um, because we won and we won a medal and a trophy. And being with the boys obviously is so special. The one in Bournemouth is good. I want to have an important role with my club every single weekend, and I think that I'm growing into that role more and more with my club. So that was an important moment for me, but the results are obviously more important.
Tyler, when we look at World Cup, Chad Ricardo of Fox 5 DC. Tyler, when we look at World Cup, this is obviously a global event, unlike any other sport that is played. I wonder at what point in life you began dreaming of this moment, at what age, and if you remember that first dream.
I mean, I think every young kid, when you're growing up, you think of, World Cups, and when you're out in the backyard or front yard, kicking the ball around, saying this is the penalty for the World Cup. I mean, at least growing up for me, I never grew up saying like this was, for a Premier League free kick or whatever it was that you were practicing. Everything was the World Cup. Everything was centered about representing your country. And I think that's what makes the U.S. so special is everyone kind of gravitates towards, representing your country and what it means to represent the red, white, and blue. And that's why I always feel this special connection to go and play with the national team any opportunity that we can, because you can't really take those moments for granted. You're not just representing yourself, family, you're representing everyone in the country.
Right. Jeff from ESPN.
Yeah, a question for Christian. You guys have kind of tweaked things tactically a little bit the last few months. Sometimes you played four in the back, sometimes three in the back. I mean, to what degree do you think that makes it tougher for these teams that have seen you to scout you? I mean, just that you guys have those tactical wrinkles kind of in your bag.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good to have a few different options, obviously, depending on, opponents, on, yeah, kind of how we want to play, who's available. And I think we've done a good job of that. I think we've shown that we can play a few different ways. So, yeah, for me, I see that as a positive and just makes it tougher for them to, yeah, they're not going to know what to expect.
Tyler, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've shown really well in the past camps the flexibility of the group, a lot of different profiles and guys with different attributes. I think it's important that, we have different ways of playing. I think you saw in the last World Cup, even at moments we had to go to a back five to sustain leads or try and get points in certain games, and that's how you have to navigate tournaments. You have to have flexibility.
All right. Doug online.
Thanks. Question for Christian. Thanks for doing this, guys. You obviously don't know your third opponent yet. You know the first two, but the first game of any World Cup is always so important. With that Paraguay game, how important do you guys think it is to make sure you kick off the World Cup with 3 points in that match?
I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter who we're playing. I mean, first match of the World Cup, obviously playing in LA. I mean, we're gonna be ready for that game. I think we'll be looking forward to that for a while, and of course, getting 3 points right off the bat like that would be an amazing start for us and just put us in a great position in the group. So yeah, we're definitely looking forward to that one.
Thank you.
Great. Right here in the front.
Again, thank you guys for doing this. Gerardo Lopez from Cultura Sports. Christian, I think you're in Italy. Were you able to watch the draw, and what were your thoughts about the whole event?
Yeah, I thought it was great. It was exciting. Obviously, a bunch of different you know great athletes, American athletes, all different figures, and it was I thought it was fun. I thought it was exciting. I knew it was going to take a while before we actually saw who we'd have in our group, and it kind of did. But it was good. The build-up was good, and yeah, I mean, now that we know, I think it's an exciting time.
All right. We'll go to Ronald on Zoom.
Well, hey, thanks, guys. For both Christian and Tyler, what would you consider success for this team in this World Cup? And is your measure of success this time any different than it was in 2022?
Go ahead, Tyler.
I mean, we're obviously going to get this question so often, and I think it's fair to say that the last World Cup we couldn't set a bar or a standard for anything. We didn't know what to expect. We haven't been through the process. We didn't know what it was going to be like. Now looking back on it, I think we have more experience. We're a lot more mature. We've grown a lot as individuals and as a team. Everyone's going to want us to say winning it is obviously the goal. Like our idea is to win. Like that's the goal. But I think setting the benchmark of the furthest the US team has gone is also realistic. So we want to go and make a run, but again, it's a game by game mentality. There's more games to progress over the next window and right before the World Cup. So yeah, assuming the group is completely healthy and we have a lot of players, that's the most important thing.
And Christian, in your mind?
Yeah, no, I think he said it right. I think it's important to kind of split it into different parts as well. I mean, obviously the first goal is to make it out of the group. We know our opponents, well, two of them at least, and we know who we're going to play against, and we have to finish obviously, the top half of that group, and that's our first goal. And then once we get there, it's a knockout tournament, and from there, no matter what round we lose in, we won't be happy. So you want to push as hard as we can, and yeah, we're gonna try to make a good run.
Thank you.
Okay. And we have one right here.
Hey guys, Alex Abnos from The Guardian. Thanks for doing this. I'm curious your view on now that you've played, or you will have played at least two, perhaps all three, depending if Turkey comes out of the playoff. You will have played all of these teams recently within the last year or so by the time you get to the World Cup. Do you think that will impact your preparations? Does it make it maybe easier because you've seen these teams before, or does it maybe make it harder because these teams have also played you guys and are a little bit less surprised than they might have been otherwise? And Christian, then Tyler, please.
I think, yeah, for us, I mean, I think we can go into it with a good feeling. Obviously, we've played against these teams recently, like you said, which is yeah, not always the case. So we know more or less. Yeah, what they're going to look like, and we know they're tough opponents as well. We're not taking anyone lightly. I think they're all gonna be tough games, but I think it's great that we have that experience. Obviously, they played against us too, so we're on the same boat. But it's cool. It's cool that those kind of friendlies and some of the other ones, yeah, were able to prepare us for some of the teams we're actually going to play.
All right. And we have time for one more question. So Sophie on the Zoom.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for your time. I was talking to Alexi Lalas the other day, and he said there's nothing like a World Cup, but there's nothing like a home World Cup. This is an incredible moment for you both. Christian, you've won at the highest level as well in Europe, and you guys have come under a lot of scrutiny from ex-players and the media. Do you think you'll approach this and go into it maybe just enjoying the moment and having more fun? Is that how you're kind of looking towards it versus being the home nation and knowing there's going to be a lot of pressure on you, maybe take on that underdog role? Thank you.
Yeah, I'll start. I think it's a World Cup. There's pressure no matter what. I don't think we see it as bad thing. We'll be criticized, and I think that's normal. But I mean, for me and me and Tyler speak often. We're just looking forward to this. I mean, we've been playing together for so long, since youth soccer, and I mean, being able to play a World Cup in our home country, it's I mean, you can't ask for anything better. It's what we dreamed of as kids, and just to have the opportunity, I think it is important to go into it with the mentality that we're gonna enjoy it. We're gonna try to take in the whole experience, and yeah, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. So I think if we enjoy it, but obviously we're gonna when it gets down to it, we're gonna be ready to fight. We're gonna give it everything we have.
Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, like Christian said, I mean, we talk about it all the time. It's an exciting moment for U.S. soccer and the growth of the game. To see how far the group has come has been really impressive. I think what's exciting is we're gonna have a bunch of new guys that will be in the squad as well. In terms of it might be their first World Cup, and being some of the guys that have had experience with it. It's just important to stay present in the moment, like just enjoy the moment. I think the performances will come, and you'll be at your best when you just enjoy the moment. And there will be friends and family in the stands, and playing on home soil. Of course, there will be pressure, but our job is pressure, so it is what it is.
Thank you both.